What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a cool product we're going to be checking out. It's this guy by Pixel. It's a wireless microphone system. So let's jump into the video. So we're going to be looking at this microphone system today, which is a wireless microphone system by Pixel. So I just want to start off by saying that Pixel did send this to me for free to check out, to try out, and to share with you guys. So I'm really interested to see how this works. So we're gonna unbox this guy, and then I'm gonna try it out for a few days and then come back and finish up this video here. But this is really cool. You can use this on all kinds of different devices. You can use it on your DSLR, on your phone. I'm gonna try it out on the GoPro. You can use it on your computer. So I'm gonna try out a bunch of these different ways, and we're gonna see how it works. So let's start off by getting into unboxing this guy and just seeing what it comes with. First things first, we're gonna cut her open. If you use a knife, be careful. You gotta say that. Kids, let your parents do it. All right, let's open this guy up here. Get rid of that down there. All right, so like I mentioned, this is a pretty small product here, and I'm excited to see how well it works. So let's get this guy opened up. All right, just starting to open her up here. Looks pretty nice. Comes in its own little case here. Hey, that's pretty sweet. I'm liking that. So you got a little case here that holds everything in it. Let's go ahead and open this guy up. All right, let's see what we got in here. All right, so everything's packed in pretty nice. Let's see, first we have a warranty card. Want to keep that around. Got your user's guide, and as always, if you've seen any of my unboxing, I always recommend you check this out. I'm going to be checking this out because I don't know much about this product. Let's see, over here, it looks like we have the actual microphone components themselves, the sending and receiving little boxes here. So let's see. Wow, this is small. All right, this is pretty cool. So there's the Voical Air. I'm not sure which one this is. We're going to find out, but there's the first part. That's pretty cool. It's small. I mean, it fits right in the palm of my hand. Pretty small. We have, looks like a cold shoe mount here, so you can mount it onto your camera or a cold shoe. Looks like we have the other part here. Let's open this guy up, see what this is. All right, so this looks like the microphone part, and one of the cool things about this is, well, one, that it's so small, but two, you've got options on the different ways you can use it as a microphone. You could use just this part itself as a microphone, because if you look at the top here, there's actually a microphone built into it. So you can just wear this or carry this piece with you. I don't know if you want to clip it on. I mean, that might look a little silly, but you could just use this as the microphone. You don't need anything else to record with, or it does give you an option to plug in another microphone, like a lav mic. So you can plug in, run your lav mic up, and that can work out just fine too. So I'm really curious to see how this is going to work out. So let's put that back in there and see what other things we get here. If we take a look at this side, everything's packed in here pretty nice, all in its own little bags. That's pretty sweet. All right, we'll open up this guy right here. Looks like we've got one of our cables. I'll put this on the side for now. All right, let's see what else we got here. Another cable in here. It's like a similar cable to the one we just pulled out. And they've got little notes on them here. It says this one's the camera cable. This one right here says phone cable. Let's see what else we got in here. Looks like we have another cable right here. This guy opened up here. And in here, oh, okay, we've got an actual lav mic. I didn't know that they provide an actual lav mic for it. I do have one that I'm using right now, which I was going to try out, but since they send you one, we'll give that a try too and see how that works. Nice little clip on here. It's pretty stiff, which is good. Hold it onto your shirt or wherever you might clip it. See what else we got in here. We have, this looks like a USB cable. So one thing I do know about these guys is that they just charge through USB, which is pretty cool. And I've read that you get 6 hours of battery life out of these guys, which is pretty good. I mean, most of the time you're not going to be out filming for 6 hours, right? And if you do, you've got USB, so you can just plug it into any kind of USB charger. You don't have to worry about replacing batteries and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of cool. So you got your USB cable here that you can use for charging. And what's in this last one here? What do we got? And here we have another USB charger. So then you can charge them both at the same time. That's pretty important. You don't want to be charging one of them and not be able to charge both of them. So you got 2 USB cables. So pretty cool. 2 USB cables. We've got the lav mic, cable for your phone, a cable for the camera to connect one of these to your camera. We have the sending unit as well as the receiving unit. And we have a cold shoe mount. So we've got all these different parts. So everything looks pretty good here. I mean, you know, everything feels like it's a fairly decent quality. It doesn't feel too cheap or too flimsy. I'm really curious to see how well it's going to work. I really like that they give you this case. That is convenient. Just pack everything back in here and you're good to go. And it's a nice little case. This whole setup is actually pretty small compared to the lav mic that I'm using now. The sending unit and the receiving unit, they're about this big. And so you got to wear it on your waist. I have one on the camera there. But these guys are really small, and I'm curious to see how well they're going to work. So So on the side here, it looks like we've got a little power button. Go ahead and fire it up and see if it'll work here. If I hit that power button. All right, turns on. Pretty cool. All right, so that's the microphone side, and this is the receiver side. So I'm gonna go ahead, push the power here again, turn that on. Let's see, what do we got here? So these are pretty cool. Looks like it's got a meter on there that's giving you your levels, tells you what channel you're on, gives you a battery life indicator. So there's some good info on there. So I'm gonna take a minute and just take a look at the manual, get a little more familiar with these things, and then I'll be back in a minute and we'll continue chatting about these guys before we go and test them out. So I just took a look through the manual. Everything seems pretty self-explanatory with these. This is the microphone section, and as I mentioned, it's got a built-in microphone here, which is pretty cool. So if we take a look around the device, again, we have the power button right here. On the top, we've got the microphone itself, if you're just going to use this device as the microphone, or you've got the 3.5mm jack here where you can plug in the lav mic they give you, or your own lav mic if you have your own. Over on the side here, we have the USB charging plug where you can charge this guy up, and supposedly these last about 6 hours, according to what it says on the box. And on the bottom here, you've got a settings button that allows you to change the channels of these in case you're getting some interference or something. You can change the channel by hitting the setting button and then the plus or minus buttons to change your channels. Now, if you don't press the set button first and you just press the plus and minus buttons, that's going to adjust the sensitivity of the microphone. It's going to either raise or reduce the sensitivity. So you might have to play with that a little bit to make sure you're not peaking and your levels aren't coming out too high. So now if we take a look at the receiver end, on the receiver end, we've got a headphone jack where you can monitor your recording, which is kind of cool. You just plug right in there. Imagine you could use that, or you could just plug right into your camera. I don't see why you couldn't do either one. And then here looks like the plug to connect it to your camera, your phone, whatever it is you might be connecting this guy to. Again, on the side, you've got your USB charging plug. So you plug her in, charge her up. On the bottom, again, we have the settings button, does the same thing as the other one, allows you to change the channels. And then you also have your plus and minus buttons here, which change the volume that you hear out of the headphones on this unit. And the power button on the other side. Now, both of these units, when you take a look at them, they both have a meter on the front. They both tell you whether they're getting a good signal or not. They also give you a battery indicator as well as what channel you're on. So you've got a lot of good information right there that you can see very easily and clearly. So they say that the range on these guys is about 70 meters, which is around 200 feet, give or take some. I don't know the exact number, but it's pretty far. So I'm going to put that to the test outside in an open area, just kind of see how far I can get away from my camera and still be able to pick up a good signal here. So I'm curious to try that out. So I think as far as unboxing, this is everything here. This is the units. I'm excited to get out there and start trying them out. And again, you can use this with your phone, with your computer, your DSLR. I'm going to even try it with the GoPro because it's got the jack on it to be able to hook a microphone up to it. So I'm going to give that a try. And as I go through that, I'll put up the examples on the screen here in this next section. You can watch those, make a decision for yourself. I'll put up just the raw audio, no processing. And maybe towards the end, I'll throw in a clip or two where I do process the audio, because at some point when I'm going through DaVinci Resolve, I'm always going to maybe apply a little EQ, a little compressor, and a few other things just to get that audio sounding as good as I can. So I think this set is pretty good as far as what it comes with. Now you can get this set on Amazon. It runs about 130 bucks, 120, 130 bucks, something like that. I will put a link to it in the description below, so you can head on over to Amazon and check it out, or even over to Pixel's website. I'll leave a link to that as well. So now I'm off to go try it out. You guys stay tuned. I'll show you some of the samples, and then we'll come back and wrap it all up, and I'll give you my thoughts on how this system works out for me. What's happening, guys? So we're outside today. We're going to be trying out the Voical Air, this wireless lav mic system. We're going to try it on a few different devices here. I'm going to try it on my 5D Mark IV. But first, before we do that, I want to try it on the iPhone, as well as the GoPro. We're going to see how they work on there. So when we're going to hook this guy up, I did already go ahead and charge them all up. Remember, we have a receiver end and we have the microphone end. So I'm going to be trying out a few different options on each one of the devices that I plug this into. I'm going to try using the mic that's built in right here, kind of see how that does. Say you don't have a wireless lav, you want to just use this. Let's see how that sounds. And then I'm going to use the lav that they give you in the kit here and see how that sounds. So we'll just give these two different options a try and kind of see how it works out. So the first one that I want to do is try out a video recording on my cell phone here. So when you take a look at the cables that are inside of the package here, you do have one that is labeled phone cable. So if you take a look at this cable real quick, this is something I noticed when I was trying it out a little bit. You look at your cable, one side has 2 black rings on it and one side has 3 black rings on it. I think they call this TRRS, I believe it is. And that's so that the microphone can input into your cell phone. So with my iPhone, I need to use this little guy. So if you have an iPhone, make sure you got this little guy so you can plug it in here. The 3 black rings is the side you want to plug into your phone. All right, once you got your phone cable set up there so it's ready to plug into your phone, grab your receiver end. And if you look at the end of the receiver there, it's going to have symbol on the left there, and that's where you plug in the other end of your cord. So go ahead and plug that in, grab your phone, plug into the back of the phone. Now we want to power these guys on. To power them on and make sure they're linked up, a little power button on the side here. Just hit that on both of them and hold it. And they're going to go ahead and turn on for us. So now just to make sure they're connected up, I'm going to talk into the microphone end, and on here we should see the meter moving, which tells me that it's linked up and good to go. You can also look at the bottom of the screen. It's going to tell you what channel it's on. And in this case, they're both on channel 1. So we're good to go. So I'm going to go film a quick video with my iPhone. And let's say I didn't have the lav mic. I'm going to do one just using this microphone first. And then I'm going to plug in the lav mic, go try that out. So I'll hook this guy on there. Would I normally wear it like this? Definitely no, because it doesn't look good. But for this test, to see how it works out, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to film a little video with my phone here, and then we'll be right back and we'll add in the lav mic and try that out. All right, guys, here's a little test of the Vocal Air mic, the one that's built into the little system here. I do have the other receiver end plugged into my phone, and whoops, and there we go. Don't want to drop that. And I'm just holding on to it. We want to see how this sounds. After this test, I'm going to go and plug in the lav mic, and we're going to see how that works. So let's get the lav mic and see how that works. Now I'm going to come back into our trusty little case here, which is pretty nice actually. I like this little case to carry everything around. Perfect. We're going to use the lav mic that they provide for us here and see how that does. Now you can use any lav mic, I'm sure, and I'm sure some lav mics are better than others, but we're going to try out the one that comes in the kit here. So super easy using the microphone end here. All you have to do is plug into that little clip right there, plug her in. And now we're using the lav mic. So I'm going to go ahead and just clip this on my shirt. I'm going to stick this guy in my pocket because if I was using it this way with a lav mic, I would be putting this in my pocket. And it's nice that it's so small. I mean, I have another wireless mic system that is not as small, so you have to hook it on your belt or on your pants or something, and it's just a little more cumbersome. This is nice that it's so small. So take the iPhone here. We're gonna go try another sample using this lav mic. So let's go try it out. What's up, guys? We're outside here again. Another test. This time we're using the lav mic attached to my phone, kind of see how this sounds. I would think that this is going to sound better than the other mic, although we're going to just kind of see what happens. This is an omnidirectional microphone, so we're going to bring this back in the Resolve, and we're going to kind of see how it sounds and what we got. So let's get up and try it out on the GoPro. All right, so there's our test on the iPhone. I'm curious to see what you guys think of all these different setups here. So leave a comment down below and let me know how it sounds. So now we're going to move into the GoPro. I have the GoPro Hero 8 Black here that I got for my birthday, which was recently. I'm 40. What? So anyway, it does have the Media Mod case on it, which gives you the option to plug in an external microphone. So that's what we're going to do for here. I'm going to unplug the phone cable here, and we do have another one that is called camera cable. So I'm assuming that for the GoPro, this is my first time trying it out on the GoPro, then I'm going to need the one that says camera cable. So let's give this a try and see how it works. Check out the ends here real quick. Looks like they're the same. So I'm just going to go ahead and plug it into the back of the GoPro here, right onto this guy right here, and the microphone mount. I am going to take the receiver end and plug it into here, fire up the GoPro, and just like before, I actually want to take off the lav mic, and I just want to use this microphone first so we can see how that sounds. So just throw that guy back there. Looking at my meters, I can see I'm still getting a signal. All right, so let's go film a recording with this and see how that sounds. Oh, real quick, and I forgot, in the case here, they do give you a cold shoe mount. So, being that I have the Media Mod for the GoPro here, I'm just going to throw this on here so I can mount the receiver right on top of the GoPro. Let's slide that in, and this is pretty sweet. The receiver has a little clip on the back in case you want to clip it to something on your camera or whatever. Or in this case, just slide it right into the cold shoe. And boom, you're good to go. So let's go give this guy a whirl. Jumping in here real quick, I realized when I hooked up the microphone to the GoPro, I forgot to change the audio input settings to a powered mic, because this is a powered mic. So now we're just doing another little test here to see how this sounds. I'm using just the microphone unit itself, talking into that microphone. We'll see how that sounds. Then we'll plug in the lav mic and try it again, see how it sounds with the lav mic. All right, we got that sample done. Now we are going to go and plug in the lav mic to this guy. Plug her in, grab the lav mic, put that guy in there. Again, I'm gonna go put this in my pocket because that's where I would keep it if I'm using it how I'm using it now. All right, let's go make the GoPro footage and see how that sounds. Okay, back with the lav mic plugged in this time into the microphone unit. We're gonna see how this sounds. I got the settings correct on the GoPro. Curious to see what kind of difference it makes. Does the lav mic sound better than using just the unit itself? And just for reference, I have this unit set at 12 dB on here. All right, so we got that test done. So now I'm actually gonna hook this receiver up to my 5D Mark IV. We're gonna use this again. We're gonna do a test with just the microphone, and then we'll add in the lav mic. So I'm really curious to see how all these different devices sound when you're using the Voical Air. Again, I really like the size of this. It's just so small, and that's perfect. And one test that I'll do before I'm wrapping it up out here today is I want to do a distance test. How far away can I get from my camera and still record the audio? So let's swap all this around. We're going to throw it on the 5D Mark IV here and see how it sounds. All right, what's going on, guys? We got the 5D Mark IV here. Got the Voical Air on top. I'm using this little guy right here with the built-in microphone. We want to see how this sounds. Again, you saw me set the levels here in my camera. That's going to make a difference on your background noise. You know, sometimes the preamps in these cameras are not great, so you want to have those set as low as you can. So let's add in the lav mic now and just kind of see how that sounds. Really curious to see what is sounding better here. Is it going to be the iPhone, the GoPro, 5D Mark IV here, or even the computer when I hook it up on there? So let's add in the lav mic, see how that sounds. All right, so like I said, now we're going to take this and we're going to add in the lav mic. Put that on, try it again on 5D Mark IV here, see how that sounds. All right, guys, here we are back on the 5D Mark IV. This time I've got the lav mic on. We're seeing how this sounds. We do have a little bit of a breeze going on, so I would expect that I'd get maybe a little less wind noise from this lav mic than just the actual unit itself. Again, I've got the unit in my pocket. Signal should be going fine up to the receiver, which is on top of my 5D Mark IV. So we're gonna bring this back in DaVinci Resolve. We're gonna test it out, see how it sounds, and then I'll give you my thoughts after I hear what this guy sounds like. All right, so for the last and final test here on the 5D Mark IV, I'm gonna take a little walk out back behind me here and just kind of make sure we can get some range out of this. Not that you're always gonna be too far away, but you know, I wanna have some range to it. So that way, if I do wanna walk away and I do wanna go somewhere else and leave my camera on a tripod, say, I can do that. So let's say here, I mean, I've got a wide angle, so it looks like I'm farther away, maybe about 25 feet now. And then if I keep coming back, walk towards the back over here, I'm gonna see what we get. Right now, this is probably at least 50 feet here. And if I come back to where this little trail is back here, back to my fire pit, which by the way, would be nice to get a little fire going, but I'm gonna tell you, in Jersey here, it's 90 degrees out today. And now I'm back in the sun. I might be blown out here. I'd say I'm probably 75 to 100 feet away. And if I even continue to come, you probably can't even see me on camera anymore. I'm back by my fire pit here. So that's the kind of range that we're looking at here. It's well over 100 feet. I'm gonna come walking back up towards the camera now, and we're gonna see if it cut out, is it gonna come back in? Hopefully it didn't cut out at all. Again, it's pretty open here. You know, you've got some trees, but for the most part, it's pretty wide open. So really curious to see how well this does. And you know, maybe we'll even compare this to my other wireless system at some point in the future here, just to kind of see how they compare, because I'm kind of curious. Let me know, what do you think? How does this wireless lav mic system sound from Pixel? All right, so wrapping up, what do I think of the Voical Air here? After trying it out on a bunch of different cameras, I figured I'd finish up the review using the Voical Air and the lav mic. And you know what, overall, I think it's pretty good. I think it does a good job. I like the form factor. It's really small, fitting in the palm of your hand. You can't beat that. There's a lot of other wireless systems out there that are heavier, are bigger, and just take up more space. You need AA batteries, things like that. I like that you can charge these via USB and there's no extra batteries to carry around. You don't have to worry about that. And I also think that in all the tests that I did, the mic does sound better than the native mics on the various cameras, on the iPhone, the GoPro, on the 5D Mark IV here. I think they all work pretty good. And to be wireless, that's just great because then you don't have to worry about cords and cables and all that kind of stuff. You can just wear your lav, you're good to go. Now, would I use this without the lav? If I had to, in a pinch, I would use it without the lav mic, but I just think that if I was to use the actual unit itself, it just is a little distracting if I had it up here on my shirt. Maybe if you had it in a pocket or something, if that worked out, maybe you could do that. But I think for me, I would stick with using the lav mic. So like I mentioned before, all the other audio clips using this microphone system in the video do not have any processing done to them. It's just straight audio right out of the camera. I just dumped it into the timeline, and that's what we got. But for this final section here, I am going to go through and process the audio just like I would for any microphone I might use. All right, and now for the cons. What are the cons of this Voical Air wireless microphone system? Well, one of the things that I seem to notice is that in most of the videos, there is a little bit of background noise.
Not a huge deal. You can take it out in DaVinci Resolve pretty easily, but there is a little bit of like staticky noise back in there, or hissing, or whatever it might be, just a little bit. Like I said, not a huge deal, but it is there and it is a little noticeable to me. So the next con that I found is the meter on the unit themselves. If we take a look at these guys right here, the meter moves when I'm talking, but about the only thing it's good for, at least the only thing I found it was good for, is just to tell me I'm getting a good signal. There's no numbers on there that tell you what it means or what levels you're at or anything like that. So the meter is good to tell you you're getting a signal, but that's about all it's good for. So that was kind of a con. It would have been nice if the meter told you what your levels were a little bit, or the strength of your signal or something like that. The next item that I think may be a con for some people is that you can't bring extra batteries. They don't take any batteries. You just have to charge them through USB. So if you don't have a USB charger with you, then you may run out of batteries if you're out all day. I think it's easy enough at this point in time that people generally have some kind of USB charger with them. So I don't think it's a huge deal, but that can be a con or a negative for some people. Another thing that is a little bit of a con is the battery indicator on the unit itself. It just shows you a little bar. It doesn't tell you how much life you have left in the battery. So when I look at it right now, for example, I don't know, it's maybe a quarter way up the battery bar. So I have maybe a quarter of the battery left. I don't really know. How long is that gonna last? I don't know. You just have to keep using it until it dies, or hopefully you charge it before the batteries run out. So it would be nice if it told you maybe a percentage or just gave you a little more information about how much battery life is left. So there's a few cons for you. I don't think that any of them are deal breakers, but it's just things to keep in mind if you're looking at this particular microphone. So overall, I just think it's a good microphone. I really love the form factor that it's so small, you can fit it right in your pocket. If you're looking in the $100 to $200 price range, it's a good buy. Of course, there's better ones that are more expensive. I don't know that there's cheaper ones, but I think this is a good wireless microphone system to get you into the game and get you on a wireless lab type of microphone. So what do you guys think? You heard all the samples, you hear this processed one, you hear the unprocessed. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear your opinion. So thank you guys for checking out this video. Thank you to Pixel for sending this system out for me to take a look at and try out and share with you guys. If you want more information, I'll leave a link to Pixel's website down below, and I'll also leave a link to Amazon in case you're interested in purchasing it or just going to check it out a little more and read some more reviews. Head on over to Amazon and check that out. It is an affiliate link, no extra cost to you, but it does help support the channel and everything we do here. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.